Ruth woke up. She looked at the clock. 1:18 a.m. She sighed, rolled over, and tried to get back to sleep. A few minutes of wide-eyed wakefulness followed. Well, she thought, if I'm up, I might as well be productive. Going downstairs, she made a cup of tea, grabbed her laptop, and headed out the wide sliding glass door to the deck of her lake house. Before sitting down at her writing table, she spent a few moments leaning against the railing, cup in hand, and looking out across the peaceful waters of Lake Laskogee. The water level of the reservoir was lower, what with the drought and all, leaving the various docks and boathouses of her neighbors standing like wooden wading birds with bare legs, joining her in her moonlight vigil. It was an idyllic scene, the soft lapping of the waves, the bright light of the waxing moon reflected on the water. She could just make out the shape of Goose Egg Island standing out just like its namesake. There was even a little fishing boat drifting out there, its skipper poised and ready with his rod, waiting for the telltale nudge of fish. Ruth sighed again, this time in contentment. She would have to figure out how to work this scene into her next novel. And speaking of which, she should really... That's strange. The moonlight must be reflecting off some algae or something. It almost looks like a glow, greenish and getting brighter. In the water, all around that little boat. Ruth put down her tea, eyes intent on the lake. The fisherman noticed it too. He started, put down his rod, and looked around, seeming just as confused as Ruth. He leaned out over the edge of his craft and dipped his hand in the water. Suddenly, the glow in the water got darker, as if a shadow crossed in front of a bright light. The fisherman flung himself back from the edge and scrambled for the oars, frantic in his motions. The lake surface exploded as a huge shape burst from the water exactly under the boat. Ruth jerked back in shock, knocking her mug of tea and scalding her hands as she fumbled with it before it clattered to the deck. She hissed in pain and flung her eyes back to the lake. But there was nothing now. No monster shape, no glow, and no boat. Surely there would be some wreckage, some waves, some sign. She searched the surface, looking for anything. But there was nothing. Just the peaceful lapping of the lake against the docks and the shore. Had she imagined it? Had she slipped into some sort of waking dream? She had a powerful imagination. Her novels were a testament to that. But that felt too real. Ruth wiped her wet hands on her robe and bent down to pick up her fallen mug, shaking her head. Usually, she wrote science fiction. Now she seemed to be living it.